If a woman says she's fell asleep, 9 times out of 10 she slept with someone and she doesn't want you to know about it, so she's found an excuse. Here is the proof.
So here's how it all went down. There exists this woman out there named Alani. She has 259,000 followers on Twitter. She is a sex and relationship expert, influencer, podcaster, all that stuff, okay? So what happened is this guy tweeted at Alani and he said, I tend to mind my business, not women's business, but I know if Alani did a ladies, what were you really doing before you sent that sorry I fell asleep text the next morning thread? Mandem will be coughing blood by match of the day. So what he's doing is asking her, hey, can you please ask women out there what they were actually doing when you told a guy one time, sorry, I fell asleep? She saw the tweet, she quote tweets it, and she says, ladies, shall we have some fun? So right there, that's already a bad sign. It's like she knows what's about to happen. She knows we're about to see some really gruesome, brutal things in the replies. And then she starts the thread off. It says, ladies and ladies only, I want you to DM me the craziest story of what truly happened when you text him apologizing for falling asleep. Were you on a date? Were you with a person you told your partner not to worry about? Cheating or sleeping with someone else? DM me. As you can see, this tweet got a lot of attention, a lot of likes, a lot of retweets, and for very good reasons. So we're about to read some replies right now, and fellas, it ain't pretty. It really ain't pretty. Here we go. Hi, Alani. I told my babes at the time I fell asleep early, but I had really gone to have a male, female, male threesome. I had such an amazing experience. One blank in my blank, another in the blank. Those men really took care of me that night. I stayed over, so I was, quote, asleep for about 11 hours that night. Fucking hell, boys. You know, I know we were expecting something bad, but I didn't know it was gonna be like this. And this was the very first reply that she received. Really, if this is the first one that popped up in the replies, then you just know you're in for some serious eye-opening stuff in this thread here. And I think the worst thing about this one is that she said, those men really took care of me that night. Like, Jesus Christ. She looks back on it fondly, guys. She looks back on it with all of the greatest regard for that whole night, that 11-hour fateful night. Dudes, if I saw my girl or my wife send something like this to somebody, I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. This reply is called Sunday. It says, I was cheating with someone who's even his dad's age, having blanks left, right, and center. Basically passed out from how much fun I had. Woke up the next morning, said a cute little good morning, and sorry I fell asleep whilst studying X. Enjoyed it so much, I do it regularly, and I'm even seeing Mr. Ass Eater in about 2 to 3 hours. Don't we just love Sundays? Fellas, you hear this? Sundays, okay? Your girl is busy on a Sunday? We're gonna have to stop allowing that to happen at this point, because if I show up on a Sunday to drop by for a surprise visit and I see Mr. Ass Eater in my girl's room with her, I'm about to catch a case right on the spot. Next reply here. I'm talking to a guy that's really romantic and is everything I want. We're even going on holiday together. Anyways, I went out and ended up having a one-night stand. I stopped messaging around 11 p.m., only replied the next day or afternoon claiming I'm not feeling well. The only reason why I replied is because he messaged me asking why I wasn't answering my door. Interflora lady was downstairs trying to deliver flowers. Got my flower delivery and got my back blown out again one more time. I felt so bad, but that one night stand was everything. Motherfucker, dudes. One of the worst parts about this one is the very first sentence. She says, I'm talking to a guy that's really romantic and is everything I want. If he's everything you want, then what the fuck is this? Is it never good enough? I mean, if it's everything you want, what could have prevented this from happening? And this poor dude was out here trying to get flowers sent to her and saying, why aren't you answering because of that? She goes out, gets the flowers, and then even after getting the flowers, you have a minute to stop and think for a second, like, wait a sec, wow. He really cares about me. He's really a good guy, and I've already said he's everything I want. Should I now realize that this is not the right thing to be doing? Or is it too late and just, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just go back for round 2 anyway. And the way she ends it off by saying that one night stand was everything. Like, if it's everything and you're still thinking about it in that regard, you're laughing about it with the monkey emoji covering his eyes up, and you're lusting about that night still to this very day, there's simply no other way to put it. You belong to the streets, and you deserve to be alone probably for the rest of your entire life. That one really just truly made me sick, guys. That was tough to read. I was seeing a guy who had good dick, but he was kind of boring. So a guy I used to speak to relocated to France for work. He contacted me randomly to come out there. I went for the weekend, was wined, dined, and ended the nights with some good blank. I sent my fell asleep text at 10 a.m., then said I was working night shifts the next 2 days so he wouldn't interrupt. I don't even want to know how this dude must have felt when he heard his girl was going to France alone. Like, I don't know why, just for me, like, in my opinion, guys, that would just have bad news written all over it. I'd be a nervous wreck, I'm not gonna lie. Why would you randomly have to go to France by yourself? And you're going with nobody? Nah, dude, there's something missing out of that story. Something is being omitted, and I'm sure this guy noticed that, and this is probably one of the worst weekends of his life. And then she even went as far to say that she was working the night shift. Like, my God, this one is really intricate, really premeditated. I mean, you have a lot of time to think about what you're doing, You gotta buy plane tickets, you gotta go to the airport, stand in line for 2 hours, you gotta be on, a 5, 6, 7, 8 hour flight, depending on where you're taking off from. There's a lot of time to turn back and realize that you're doing something wrong, but when you belong to the streets, these things have no such effect on you. Okay, so I canceled on the guy I was dating around 3 months at this point and rescheduled for the next night so I could go get my back blown out by a previous friend with benefits at a hotel he was staying at. I remember he texted me like 10 p.m. just chit chat and I didn't reply till the next morning. Sorry, I fell asleep, babe. Nah, babes, I was busy getting stretched out. The next night, I went on a date with him and got my back blown out by him, too. That was a fabulous weekend. Woo. I have zero regrets. He never found out, but he turned out to be sleeping with multiple women, so he was and still is the bad guy in this situation, and we love to see it. Well, hold on a sec now. So wait a sec. Is he a bad guy in the situation if he was cheating too? Yes, he is, but was he the bad guy? No, you're both the fucking bad guy. What is this? Just because he got caught and you didn't, that means that he's the bad guy and that you're free and clear of any wrongdoing? Nah, that ain't how any of this works. My least favorite part of this one is the way she said, nah, babes, I was busy getting stretched out. Like, God damn, the shamelessness of this one. And then she saw her dude the next night, and it was just a great weekend. Wow. Weekend to remember, obviously. Alright, this one is beyond fucked. Ready? When I was single, I used to have 4 to 5 people on rotation, so I made an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of who I was seeing during the week and what days they were off from work. One of my rotations rain-checked our date, but he texted the night before to make up for it. By then, I was already heading to my second favorite's house. I knew it was her day off from my Excel sheet, and she always gives me one of the best blank I've ever had. The guy texted me, I know you're sleeping right now. Let's do dinner tomorrow. I remember texting him the day after, sorry, it was girls' night. I should add, I took him off my Excel sheet soon after and moved her up my list. So this guy pretty much did the job for her. He texted her the next day and just said, sorry, I knew you were asleep. Like, he didn't even have to make her lie about it. But of course, she went along with the lie anyway. And I just want everybody to really think about the fact of how big of a demon does this woman have to be to keep an Excel spreadsheet of 4 to 5 people? If you have that many people that you need a spreadsheet to figure out and manage, you gotta have a project management app open in order to keep track of this shit. You might be doing just a little bit too much. It's almost impressive in a way, she might have to put that on the resume for her next job interview, because if you can keep track of all that and not ever get caught, you got some serious time management skills. I told my boyfriend I fell asleep when the whole time I was at his cousin's house having the best night of my life, and cracking jokes about how funny it would be if he ever caught us. My God, your cousin, guys, it really does be your own sometimes. That is absolutely fucking tragic. I told him I was asleep and I went to fuck my ex, and I used his card to pay for our Uber and our Uber Eats during the sneaky link. I mean, did this dude look at his credit card statement? I feel this is just, you're just begging to get caught at that point, no? If you're putting a paper trail on his credit card? I guess some of these women responding to this are just beyond the point of giving a fuck about getting caught. And actually, this next one here proves it. This is why I saved this one for last. It says, Alani baby, please post the story I sent anonymously. I want him to see it as he's following your page. I'm here for the violence. Just absolutely brutal, guys. I've got no words for that, and I think I've seen enough now. All right, fellas, take a deep breath. Try to process all that we've just seen. I say this a lot at the end of videos, but that was a lot to unpack. It really was. So you guys, gather your thoughts, your composure, and let me know what you thought about this down in the comments below. I'm sure the fellas will have much to say about all this, and I look forward to reading your responses as always. If you guys enjoyed the video,